Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about 3 things I hate that no one ever brings up. The first is contorted facial expressions on YouTube thumbnails. I don't know if the algorithm rewards this or if people are simply attracted to this disgusting garbage. But you see this everywhere. This guy, for instance. I'm going to show you 3 YouTube thumbnails that will get progressively worse. Look at this guy. Phony. I hate lurid, insincere displays of emotion. It's a mockery. It's satire through exaggeration. It's making fun of the idea of emotions. That's why I find these things so disgusting. Here's another one. Just look at that ugliness for its own sake. Who clicks on these videos because they have these images? I can see the logic in a way. It's like looking at a car wreck with mangled bodies. You can't look away, but you're disgusted the whole time. Ugh. And the image that inspired me to talk about this particular issue, this guy. Now, I am certain this guy is a miserable human being. You don't lightly make contorted facial expressions like that and have a happy, benevolent soul. God, how disgusting. Anyway, that's the first thing. The second thing, anti-rational humor. Now, here's my example. When your catch catches what you were trying to catch while being caught. I have a few things to say about this. First, those commas are unnecessary. But more importantly, that last caught is unnecessary and artificial. This person has artificially inflated the number of catches to make it funnier. Right? When your catch catches what you were trying to catch while being caught. What do you mean while being caught? That's redundant. You already knew that. It's your catch. That's the first thing you said. So it's just this redundancy that people ignore because it adds another catch on there and makes it seem even crazier. Now, I know this may seem trivial, but it isn't. The people who are willing to laugh at this kind of thing are evil. Because here's what's going on. Here's the mechanics that are going on in your mind. Assuming you're not retarded and you didn't notice this at all, in which case you're just dumb. But this all happens in a flash, if you notice it. So you read this joke, and you think, oh, that last caught is redundant, but I'm going to suppress that signal that my mind is sending me, because I recognize that it's artificial, so I can laugh at it. Now, why is this bad? Why does it matter that it's artificial? I mean, it's just a joke, right? Well, the joke is funny. The joke relies on the fact that it is referring to something real in reality. That it's referring to something in reality. Real in reality. That it's referring to something in reality. If you just threw a bunch of words together, it wouldn't be funny. It's funny because those words are supposed to reflect the reality of the image. The guy catching a crab that is in turn catching a fish. So, the logic that makes it funny is undercut when you ignore the artificial addition of another catch. This is kicking the ladder out while you're still climbing up it. It's kicking the ladder out from underneath you. You are ignoring reality in order to find something funny. You are deliberately not putting things together so that you can indulge in emotion. You're not thinking about the logical premise behind the joke. You're not thinking about the context required to make the joke funny. So you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. By having that context, that these words actually refer to something real, while at the same time indulging in this artificial inflation of the number of catches. Okay, so I know it seems like I'm crazy because I'm going on about this joke, but evil is nothing other than a greater scale version of what's going on right here. Because what's going on right here is not putting things together, because if you did, you would notice a contradiction and not be able to feel the emotion you want to feel. In this case, amusement. So, if you laugh at this joke, you are dumb or a bad person. If you did not react negatively to that additional catch or caught on the end. Okay, but that's all specific to this joke. This joke is simply, the real issue here is that this joke is representative of the whole tone of internet humor today, of young people humor. Whenever you find any kind of joke on Reddit, invariably, one of the top comments will be, if this is at all possible, applying the joke to itself. There is an obsession today with this kicking the ladder out from underneath yourself. There's an obsession with paradox, with meta, with irony. It's the Ouroboros, the snake eating itself. People love that. It's like Ayn Rand talks about, two mirrors facing each other and just that senseless reflection of reflection. People love that. It's because we live in a Kantian culture. Logic is taken to be artificial. You're putting things together artificially. That's unreal, so we have to make fun of it, mock it. You could go back in any time in history, and the kind of jokes that would be preeminent would not have the tone that they have today. There was never a time in history where logic was mocked. But that is the overriding style of humor you see today. And it's repulsive. So people's first instinct is to apply a thing to itself. Hitchens' razor, that which can be asserted without evidence can be denied without evidence. The first thing you will see whenever anybody posts that is somebody applying that to the razor itself. And I'm not saying that's necessarily invalid, but the fact that that's the first thing people go to, there's this obsession with undercutting anything. People love this, the incompleteness theorem. It's, this is just a floating abstraction, just this floating construct that can't be justified by anything external to it. That's how they see it. Logic, floating construct, has nothing to do with reality, so let's make fun of it, because it's the enemy. We live in a uniquely anti-rational time, an unprecedentedly anti-rational time in human history, and it shows in the kind of jokes people like. So that's number 2. Number 3 is the way black people over-enunciate when they're trying to sound smart. Now, the exemplar of this phenomenon is Stephen A. I don't follow sports. This guy's a sports commentator. However, I've seen bits of him over the years, and he has always stood out in my mind as the premier example of the kind of person who does this. So I'm going to play a bit of him for a second so you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Little to nothing to deserve it. But that's what Jay Cutler has been. That's what the city of Miami and the Dolphins organization is getting. I will hesitate, however, to completely condemn them because I do think Adam Gase can coach. I know that he's coached this man and reaped some level of success out of him. And because of that, Gase deserves credit. And the organization itself, is understandable why they went in this direction. They're not to be condemned for it. But I just find Jay Cutler to be anything opposite of a winner. And that's not even the biggest problem with him.
Okay, so hesitate. You see what I'm talking about. Now, what's really embarrassing is that they specifically emphasize those words that they think are big, which is embarrassing because they do it with words that are not big. This is just a further layer of stupidity on this whole thing. Now, this actually reminds me once, I was at work and we had a meeting, and there's this black woman who came in and she was telling us all of this useless nonsense that I wasn't paying attention to, but because I knew it was useless. But she came in, and after she laid out whatever she was talking about, she said, okay, so now are we all in agreeance here? Are we all in agreeance? Now, she obviously knew the word agreement. She's familiar with that word. Why would she use an archaic form of that word? Well, you know why. What she sent down to her subconscious was not, give me the words that will allow me to express my idea in the clearest possible terms. What she asked was, give me the words that will make me sound smart. And to dumb people, archaic, indirect, hard to understand, that's what's smart. And of course she over-enunciated. Agreeance. Are we all in agreeance? So, anyway, those are just a few things that I hate, and I figured I would explain why, because you may hate them too and just have never put into words why or understood why these things are bad, so I figured I would explain it for you. Or you may not hate these things at all, and you just think it's interesting to hear what I hate and why, I hope. In any case, I'm sure I will think of more things to hate, and I will talk about them at a later date. But I hope you find the reasoning interesting, and I hope by doing this, I really want to open your mind up to the fact that you have reasons for the things you feel. You should introspect when you feel things. You will discover that you can make all kinds of connections and come to understand yourself far better if you actually think about, why is this person over-enunciating? Why am I disgusted by these faces on YouTube thumbnails? What's the motivation for artificially inflating the number of words in this joke? Think about things. There are all kinds of things that you're just letting go by that you would really benefit from investigating. So I hope when you see me giving these extemporaneous lectures on why I hate particular jokes, it will inspire you to start thinking about the things you like and don't like. And if you know why you like and don't like something, it will enhance your emotions. In fact, I know I'm being negative here, and I'm just talking about things I hate, but cultivating disgust is a way of cultivating pleasure. You can't cultivate one without the other. Now, this is not a yin-yang thing. I'm not saying you have to have actual misery to have actual happiness. I'm saying you need the potential of misery in order to have happiness. And the same thing here. You can't make yourself sensitive to just good emotions. You have to make yourself sensitive to all emotions. So by making yourself sensitive to the things you hate and allowing yourself to experience those negative emotions, you are making yourself capable of experiencing more strongly all of the positive emotions that are the purpose of life. There's no point in living but to experience those good emotions. That's the highest pleasure in life. So that's the benefit of something like this. That's the benefit of thinking about why you hate things and just cultivating your emotional sensitivity. So I hope this helped you do that. And I will have more things to talk about that I hate and like in the future, but that's it for today. Thanks for watching.